Hi everyone, welcome to Prevention Education, the podcast that teaches you everything about prevention. Thanks for listening, and let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another prevention education episode. I'm Kylie and I'm a prevention specialist for PFH Prevention in Kirksville. And today I have someone from S.P.I.R.I.T with me. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Azura Byrn. I am a prevention specialist for the S.P.I.R.I.T grant with Preferred Family Healthcare.
Yes, and we love having Azura on our team. She is a huge asset and does amazing work with the kids in her grant. So we're just going to hop in with our intro question. And so our intro question today is, what is the favorite or your favorite trip that you've ever taken?
I would say my favorite trip would be my first time to the ocean, went to Florida. It was kind of like a spontaneous trip. We just kind of got in the car and went. And so for my birthday, probably 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, that was probably my favorite trip.
That's awesome. Mine is kind of similar, but a little different. It also includes the beach. For my honeymoon, we went to Puerto Rico, and it wasn't the most organized trip by any means, but it was just super fun and an adventure. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now that our listeners just know a little bit more about us, we will hop into our topic. And our topic today is what you like about your job. So do you kind of want to give our listeners a little rundown of what your job is, like what you do in your job?
Yeah. As a school-based prevention specialist, we go into the schools and we teach a universal evidence-based curriculum. And so I teach kindergarten up to high school. So what I love about my job is working with kids, especially, and building connections with them. I have several kiddos that I had at Head Start when I worked at Head Start a few years ago in kindergarten. And so it's just awesome to see them doing well, and still having that connection. They're excited. Oh, Miss Audra, excited to see me, and just kind of, you don't really realize the impact that you have, and so that's awesome to see. Yeah, and working with kids and working with youth every day is different, and that makes it fun too. So you could be teaching the same lesson 5 times, in a day, but each lesson is going to be different because each group of kids is different, and so I love that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. For your job, you said that it's kindergarten all the way up to high school. Do you kind of have a preference of the age group that you kind of thrive with when you're in the schools?
Last year I was mostly middle school and high school, and so I just started doing kindergarten in 3rd grade, and then I'll do 1st and 2nd next semester. And I really enjoyed it. I really love working with the younger kids. High schoolers, we can get into some really good discussions, but most of the time they're not as enthusiastic about me coming in. But I would say I do prefer the little kids, the younger kiddos, but that's just because coming from a Head Start background and working with preschool age kids, that's what I enjoy most. But
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And especially with the little ones, isn't the curriculum a little more fun? You guys get a little more, not freedom, but you just have
more
better
games and
props.
more, yeah. And we have Tuggles and Carmen, and the 3rd graders love Otto the robot, so yeah, it makes it more exciting and more fun.
Yes. What are some schools that you guys are currently in right now?
So we are in Knox County, Kirksville primary school and middle school, We are in Macon, Scotland County, and South Shelby.
Yes. And just for our listeners, our spirit team is a team of 3 people. So they have different people going to these schools, but each prevention specialist or manager kind of sticks with the same students throughout the semester year.
Right.
So yeah. So how are you feeling? Is it hard to leave students like kind of because they kind of graduate in a sense and then you're not with them anymore, right?
Yeah. So it can be, and especially for like elementary, the kindergartners were super sad that the program was ending because you build a connection with them, you get to know them over 10 weeks, and so it is hard, but depending on the school, I'll have them the next year, in the next grade, but so yeah.
Yeah. Do all the programs run only a semester or are they year long? Or are they just 10 weeks?
10 weeks. Yeah. So the program is 10 weeks, 10 lessons. So like right now at South Shelby, my middle school, depending on kind of the schedule and the school and how we can kind of fit in, I'm having to do the program in a quarter for my 6th and 7th graders. And so I'm kind of having to combine a few lessons and shorten it, but yeah, semester is 10 weeks. Yeah, it's usually. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you have any fun stories with your jobs, like anything that the kids have said to you that has kind of stuck, or have they made you anything that you absolutely loved?
There's so many things in that one kindergartner, he made me an invitation to his dinosaur party.
Oh
that
my
was super
God.
cute. He drew a little dinosaur with some squiggly lines, and he was so excited to give it to me. He's like, "You come to my dinosaur party," I was super excited. That was super cute and super sweet. But there's so many things within a day that they shout out and share that it's hard
Yeah.
to remember them all. But yeah.
I think that dinosaur party would trump everything in my brain. Like
Yeah.
that's such a unique thing to get. And just to be invited to a kid's birthday party is like such an honor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to leave this open to you. Is there anything else that you want to share about your job? Anything else you love about it?
I was thinking the other day, so in one of my courses for school, we were talking about Sinek's golden circle model. It's kind of like, so you have organizations, what they do and how they do it, and then in the center is why. And I was kind of thinking about, my why for my child and family studies degree and my why for what I do in the prevention field. And I love being a part of an organization and working with others, who are fueled with a passion, and we share the same why. And, being passionate about working with youth and saving lives and with primary prevention, whether it's in the community or impacting youth through the schools. So that's another reason I really love my job, is just working alongside, other people who share a passion.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. The people that we have in the department, you can really tell that they care for the community and they care for the youth specifically.
Yeah.
And not that that's a rare thing. I think that's a pretty common thing nowadays. But to work with people that have that same passion, I think is the rare thing.
Yeah.
So that is really good.
Yeah.
Why?
And I think,
oh, go ahead.
I think that's what really makes a difference in what we do is, having that passion and being fueled by, what we care about. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is this field and when I say field, not necessarily prevention, but like the youth field, is it the field that you've always kind of wanted to go into? or did you want something else and then paths changed or something?
No, I think it's always something that I've wanted. My mom had an in-home daycare growing up, and so I think that kind of started my passion for childcare and working with youth. But it's always something that I've wanted to do and had a passion for. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so easy to see your passion for these kids, for your job. I think you have the perfect personality, and just you give off, I don't like this word just because it's so overused, but like the vibes you give off is very childcare, caring, loving, kind, like all of this stuff that really need to be around youth. And so I think
Well, thanks. Yeah.
fits you very well.
Mhm.
Well, do you want to leave our listeners with kind of one, it can be a prevention message, it can just be a life message, just something to maybe inspire them?
Give me a second.
Yeah, it's a large, I always forget to give people a heads up about this part. Anything.
Yeah, so but yeah, I would say especially working with youth, just having that connection and building that connection can really impact them the most. Yeah.
Yes, very well said. Well, awesome. Well, listeners, if you guys have any questions for us, as always, email moprevention@pfh.org and we will get you in the right avenue to answer your question. You can visit our website at pfh.org/prevention. You can give us a call. We have a lot of avenues where you can reach us. So we are happy to take any questions. And just thank you so much for tuning in. And Azura, thank you for your time and all the knowledge that you're willing to share. Well, listeners, have a wonderful day and be sure to listen to other podcasts. Bye, everyone.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into our podcast. Remember to follow us on social media at PFH Prevention. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify, and more podcasting platforms. And make sure to email us at moprevention@pfh.org with any questions, and feel free to call us at 660-627-7404. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.